going to share my screen with you. Hello, how are you? All right, so here we go. Again, if there's anybody who has not enrolled in the class, the enrollment code is there.
I'll take her both ways tomorrow.
I didn't know it was 11:15. Oh, I'm on my class. All right, so the enrollment code is there, BE6163FB, for anybody who has not enrolled in the class. Write it down and make sure you enroll in the class, because of course that's how you can do the cool down. All right, so today we will be the lesson is representing data using 3 graphs. These are the 3 graphs that we will be using throughout the remainder of the course. So the objective is to create a graphic representation of data, because ultimately that is what a graph is. All of our lessons are aligned to what is required by the state of Pennsylvania. So that's why you see that standard there. And again, for us today, we are applying quantitative reasoning to choose and interpret units and scales and formulas, graphs, and data displays. So our agenda, how the class is going to go, we are going to have our community meeting. Then we are going to review the 2 concepts that we have reviewed so far, shapes of distributions and measures of center. Then we will discuss the characteristics of dot plots, box plots, and histograms. And then you have a little assignment to do relating to the lesson on the 3 graphs. So first, community meeting. If someone gave you $1,000 to donate to any charity, which would it be and why? Remember, you also have chat options. So if you don't necessarily want to talk, you can text it in the chat. Again, if someone gave you $1,000 to donate to any charity, what would it be? What would it be and why? Let me see if anybody's chatting. Let me see. Nobody is chatting me. Okay. So what is in your heart for benevolence? Hey, Sammy, how you doing? Again, if someone gave you $1,000 to donate to any charity, which would it be and why? All right, so the teacher can start. Excuse me. I would donate to the Lupus Foundation. And I would again split my money. The Lupus Foundation and I don't know, maybe the Children's Education Fund. I would do something probably academic. Does anybody have anything? Okay.
Miss Hicks, do they got a charity for dementia, people with dementia?
Yep. Oh, they probably would be with the Alzheimer's Association.
All right.
Since you know dementia will ultimately lead to Alzheimer's. Dementia is like the first state, the beginning. But yep, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. And again, remember, in this time of giving, it is always good to give to those less fortunate than yourself, or like I said, to some organization that is your passion, or that you have you have some heart for, so to speak. And remember, like I said, giving is a good thing. All right, so let's move into the class. So over the past 2 weeks, we have talked about measures of center. Sometimes they're called measures of center. They are called measures of central tendency. Or if we talk about them individually, they are the mode, which is the term that appears most often. And from the graphic, we see that is the highest point on the graph. The median, which is the term physically in the middle. Now, depending on the shape of the distribution, the middle will move. But again, so when you think about the median, you just want 50% of the data on one side and 50% on the other. Now, if it was a symmetrical graph, yes, it would look even. Left side look like the right side. But when there is a skew, it moves. Okay, so remember, the median is the term physically in the middle, or 50% of the data is on either side of it. And then lastly, the mean, which is the arithmetic average, and you see that the graphic for the mean is balanced. Okay? And then we talked about shapes of distributions. So remember, a skew is merely a slant. So a graph can be skewed right. It can a graph that is skewed right can also be described as having positive skew. And the tail of that graph is on the right, as you see here in the graphic. The tail is on the right. Most of the data is on the left. And the median is the best measure of center. We see the mode is the highest and the mean is over here. So if it is a positive skew or right skewed, the median is the best measure of center. And remember, the skew matches the side that the tail is on. If the graph is symmetrical, that means one side looks like the other. The graph has literally been split in half, and the mean, the mode, and the median are the same. So if your graph is symmetrical, and it's also called bell-shaped. Oh, excuse me. Okay, a symmetrical graph is also called bell-shaped. And again, one side looks like the other, it looks like a bell. Okay, and again, the mean, the mode, and the median are the same. So if you were asked what would be the best measure of center, you could use any of the three. And then lastly, a graph can be described as skewed left or negative skew. And again, that means that the tail of the graph is on the left side. Most of the data is on the right. And again, the median would be the best measure of center. Oh, nice, Liv. I see you. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Homeless or, yep. I agree. I agree. I agree. Thanks, Liv. Okay. So I just added bell shaped to symmetrical. Okay. Because sometimes it's referred to as a bell shaped curve. And I don't want you to think that you don't know what that is. Okay. So again, there are, good morning. There are three shapes of distributions. Again, positive skew, which is also called skewed right, symmetrical distribution, which is also called a bell-shaped curve, or it can be skewed left, which is also called negative skew. Okay, so those are the things that we've discussed thus far. And again, I'm hoping that some of it was just a true review. So, does everybody have what they need? Does anybody need me to go back a slide? Okay, everybody's done with this? Okay. Now, let's talk about the different plots, the different graphs that we'll be using. So the first one, or dot plots. And with dot plots, you can see individual members of a set. So a dot plot is usually used on small data sets. Each dot, represents a value in the data set. And the height of each bar represents the frequency that that value or category exists or is represented. Okay, so from this dot plot, I went backwards. So if you had a data set, this is what the data set would look like that corresponds to this dot plot. But again, the beauty of the dot plot is you can see exactly how many people do not eat breakfast at all. How many people eat breakfast in 5 minutes? How many people eat breakfast in 10 minutes of the people surveyed? And a dot plot can be used for things like if you want to know probabilities related to a set of data, a dot plot is good. Because again, you can tell about each member of the set. So the probability that a person takes 11 minutes to eat breakfast. Well, you could figure that out if you had a dot plot, because you clearly see how many people take 11 minutes. And then you can answer this question down here. How many people actually took the survey? Okay, it is clear. So that's the beauty of the dot plot. You can see the individual members of the set. And remember, you take notes that are relevant to you. All right, so, okay, so given this table, so under your notes on dot plots, this comes next. So here is the table. The table is choice of snack foods. And the snacks, I have to figure this out: cookies, chips, pretzels, and popcorn. And the number of people who like cookies as a snack are 2, like chips are 3, likes pretzels are 5, and likes popcorn are 3. I want you to create a dot plot from the table at the left. And again, this is on your honor and this is your practice. So you will have a point of reference. I'll give you maybe another minute or so.
How I get to that?
How you get to what, love?
The thing that you got on your screen. Because don't we got created or no?
Oh, yeah, no. You just gonna draw it on your paper.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you just gonna draw it on your paper. I'm gonna show you what it should look like if you did it correctly. Because again, a dot plot, I think, is probably the simplest. All right, I'm gonna give you about 1 more minute and then I'm gonna show you. And you're gonna compare what you created to what is here. Excuse me. All right. All right. Does your dot plot look something like this? Now, because I created mine on a computer, I couldn't quite, I used a table, okay? It was easier for me to configure it that way. So over pretzels, you should have had 5 dots. Over cookies, you should have had 2 dots. Over chips, you should have had 3, and popcorn the same. So now, again, like I said, if this is the data that you are presented in a dot plot, you could answer questions like true or false. Do 2 times as many people like pretzels than cookies? Well, by looking at this, you can tell right off the bat whether that is a true or false question. Okay? But again, you see how each individual person felt when you use a dot plot. Okay? Now let's look at a histogram. So, a histogram is based on continuous data. So you will see that the bars of a histogram are together. There are no spaces in between them. Okay? And frequency tables are used to organize your data into equally spaced bins. So this second piece is the frequency table. The bins are just how they grouped the data. So this was the data set. So they see in the data set The lowest age is 22, and the highest age is 91. So they decided to make the bins by units of 10 in groups of 10s. But you see, the end of this bin is the beginning. The end of the first bin is the beginning of the second bin. The end of the second bin is the beginning of the third bin. So again, that shows that it is continuous and there is no space in between. But you must remember that when in this bin between 20 and 30, you are only counting the numbers from 20 to 29. The high end gets counted in the next group. So this group, you count 30 to 39. In this group, you would count 40 to 49, and so on until you get down here. This last group, you count from 90 to 99. Okay, so good morning. So they've organized the data given here into bins or groups so that we can graph the data. And again, there are no gaps between the bars, but there may be absences. So we can see from our frequency table that there is going to be an absence between in the 80 to 90 interval, because there are no numbers or there are no ages between 80 and 89. So this is the histogram that relates to this set of data where we created this table. So, and then they showed you which ages are included in the bin. So from 20 to 30, you count the 22-year-old and the 25-year-old. From 30, in the 30 to 40 interval, you count the two 36-year-olds and the two 38-year-olds. Now, in a histogram, here you can't tell just from looking at the graph, not looking at the data, but looking at the graph. You just know that there are two people whose ages are between 20 and 29. If you didn't see the data, you wouldn't necessarily know that one was a 22-year-old and one was a 25-year-old, just from looking at the graph. So when we compare the dot plot to the histogram, we know about the individual. In the dot plot, we know about the individual. In the histogram, we are talking about groups. We have grouped people together or grouped items together. Make sense? We're gonna do a practice on this at the end. Okay? All right. Now we have the box plot, the dreaded box plot. So now, a box plot is a 5-number summary of data. Okay, and these are the 5, but I have a better slide. Here we go. So now, let me back up a second. Let me back up. All right, now let's do it. Okay. So a box plot is a 5-number summary of your data. And there are steps to this that make it a little easier. So first, you put the numbers, the data set into numerical order. Then you identify the maximum and minimum values of the data set. Then you find the median of the entire data set, because remember, the median will divide the data in half. And then the Q1, or the first quartile, is the median of the first half of the data. And Q3 is the median of the second half of the data. But I'm going to show you where it makes a little more sense. So if this is the data set that we are given down at the bottom, 9, 7, 2, 5, 12, 14, 16, 13, 18. So first, we put the data in order. So we have 2, 5, 7, 9, 12, 13, 16, 13, 14, 16, 18. So it's easy to identify the minimums. The minimum is 2, because that's the lowest value. The maximum is 18. So those are 2 of our 5 values. Then we find the median of the data set. So again, there are 9 numbers in the data set. We come in 4 from the front, 4 from the back. 12 is the median of the data. So that 12 has now split the data into 2 parts. So that's the third number in our 5-number summary. So now we are merely looking at this first half of the data to find the median. So we have 2, 5, 7, and 9. Remembering way back, when you find the median of an even set of numbers, you add the middle 2 and divide by 2. So 5 plus 7 gave 12. 12 divided by 2 gave 6. So that's the median of the front, or the lower end of the data. And then we do the same thing on the back side. There are 4 numbers. So we add 14 and 16, we get 30. And when we divide it by 2, we get 15. So now, the minimum goes first. Then the middle of the lower end. Then the middle of the data. The middle of the upper end. And then the maximum value. So the box is made up of the 3 medians: the median of the front half, the median of the entire data set, and the median of the back half. That's where your box comes in. They're all medians. And then your minimum goes front, and your maximum goes at the end. And these are the whiskers. Oh, you remember that from middle school? Box and whiskers. That's the other name for a box plot. Box and whiskers. Oh. All right. Let me see what time it is. Okay. All right, so here's what I want you all to do. Using this data, I want you to construct a histogram, a dot plot, and a box plot. You know what? You don't even have to do the dot plot because there is no repetition. So how about this? I just want you to do the histogram and the box plot. And I will do the, I'll just show you what the dot plot will look like, because there are no repetitions in the data. So the dot plot would just be a straight line. So it is 11:08. I am going to give you to 11:15 to do the histogram in the box plot for this set of data. And then I'll show you what it should look like. All right, let me get some water. Wait. No. I thought Brandon had to be work at 1 o'clock. I know 11:15. When did she ever had to work at 11:15? Oh, because I'm like, what? Because when she came downstairs, I was like, what time you gotta go to work? She talking about 11:15. Like, what? And please understand that your histograms may look different depending on how you set up your intervals. So I am going to show you mine the way I set up my intervals. But if you set yours up differently, we can definitely discuss how yours should look. Good morning. We are working on the assignment in front of you. We are only doing 1 and 3. We are not doing the dot plot. So using the set of data presented, construct a histogram and a box plot. Oh, I'm sorry you left. Bye.
Miss Hicks,
Yes, darling.
how do you get there? I'm trying
How
to
do
share
you-
my. I'm trying to share my screen, but it won't let me.
Oh, all right, wait a minute. So let me exit, and maybe I have to stop sharing so you can share. Okay. Now you try to share. You try to share. Yeah, I can see your head, Liv. All right. Where you trying to get to, Liv? To the cool now?
Yeah.
Go to the. You did one. Go to the claiming that one. The first, make yes. Click that. Up. Because you did something. That's the one I want you to do.
Oh, okay.
All right. So remember, now go back to that thing about shape. About shape. What does it look like? Is it symmetric? Is it skewed left or skewed right? But you already got you already did that one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tighten it up always. You know that. And then you just got to justify yourself. I see I see what you said. Just justify why. And some of them I may have asked you a question.
Okay.
Okay, you know how we work.
And back to the other thing that you were talking about.
Oh, okay. So no, you should just, because you on Zoom on your phone.
Yeah, and I'm doing my work on a computer.
That's why you can't see it. Okay. Just for a minute, Liv, add the screen, add up here so you can see us. And just come into the Zoom for a minute. Okay?
What do you mean?
So go up here to the top and click plus. Because I want you to come. Can you on your phone? Can you see my share?
No.
I want you to see my share because I want you to see what we getting ready to do. So click plus up on your screen. Just for a minute. Up there by, get a new tab. You know I can't talk the lingo. Up top, up.
I can't see it on my phone.
All right, so wait, Liz. So on your computer, go all the way up top.
Oh, up.
Yes, plus. All right, now come into Zoom. Zoom.us. Zoom.us.
Meeting.
Yep. Now, yep, meeting, yep. Now, you join us. You need our code so you can see us. Wait a minute, y'all. You know. All right, it is.
Wait, how do you put the code in?
Go back. Go back to where it says, see up there where it says join a meeting? See where it says join a meeting?
No.
Go right. Go all the way to the right. Up top. Yes, it should be on that line. You don't see it says schedule a meeting, join a meeting?
Schedule a meeting.
Go to join a meeting. No, you want to go join.
Okay. There you go. I got it.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our meeting code is, wait a minute. Slow chat. Our meeting code is, oh, come on. It's 921-904.
Wait, 92. Yeah.
You got the 921-904-251.
Mm-hmm.
16. And it should let, okay. Did it let you join us? Yep, join.
Okay, I got it.
All right, cool. All right, so now I am going to, like I said, I'm gonna share my screen again. Oh, wait, somebody chatting me. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Shotty, what's up? All right, so I'm gonna share my screen with you all so that we can. All right, so I asked you to use this data and construct a histogram and a box plot. Yeah. So, boom. Is that what your histogram looks like and your box plot?
Miss, I gotta leave. I gotta take my pops to the hospital.
Oh, all right. Go ahead, baby. And it's 11:20. So we'll
All right.
start here. We'll start here on our next class. We'll start. This will be our warm up. Okay. So on Friday, this will be our warm up. I will send you all. I will upload the class. I'll upload the tape of the class
All
so
right,
that
thank you.
anybody who missed it can come back at it, and you'll also see you'll be able to see our what it should have looked like, at least a little bit. Okay, so I thank you all for coming. I just want to make sure that I have the roll. So real quick, I have Sammy, Mr. Gambrell, Nas, Liv, Nakaya, Shadi, and Quay Quay. Did I miss anybody?
Yeah, Teron.
Oh, hey, I ain't see you, Ryan. What's up, dude? Okay, and Teron. Thank you, my love.
Miss
All
Hicks,
right.
what was the code again? I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. B is in boy, E is in Ed, 6'1", 6'3", F as in Frank, B as in boy.